Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the third round in the PSGL PS Formula 3 Championship. Finally, we are back after 1 week. And tonight we are on the iconic track of Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. And like I say, it's such an iconic track where Formula 1 is driving for a lot of seasons now. In the championship, we also have a lot of excitement. But before we look into that, I'll introduce you to my commentator tonight. Last week I was alone, but tonight I am here and I'm together with Rylan. Rylan, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, and I'm really excited for the Belgium Grand Prix. One of my favourite tracks, if I'm being honest. Just love this track.
Yeah, who doesn't actually? It's one of the best tracks in my opinion as well. Lots of fighting. Of course, it is the longest track on the calendar. So, yeah, the drivers will have to be absolutely sharp. And everything has to be in the right window to get a good lap in here in this qualifying. But as well in the race, overtaking is really possible here. So I think that will be really exciting in this race. Do you maybe have some expectations for tonight?
Um, well, it's going to be a tough race, especially with managing battery and that. So could see a lot of people juggling through the field in that if they can get the battery management right today. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see any of these guys. I mean, I've seen Nate Rotax before in a another league, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what these guys are capable of.
It definitely will. Yeah, Rotax, you name one there. He was on pole in Silverstone in our first race of this season, and in the second race he had a really good qualifying as well. So for him, this qualifying will be really important, and he will definitely be fighting for the pole position here in Spa tonight. Heiser is the first car out on track in the Audi. He was in P3 last week in China. And I think it's a great time now to look at those standings after China last week in Shanghai. It was Nat Burney who won the race in the Haas. Quite a gap to Johan behind. He was in P2. However, in the championship, it's still Johan leading it all. Only 1 point ahead of Nat Burney. Johan was in P1 in Silverstone and P2 last week, but he got the pole position in Shanghai last week, which secured him 1 point. And with that 1 point, he is now in the lead of the championship with 29 points. 1 point ahead of Nat Burney, like I said. He's in P2. And in P3, it's Moran. But he is already 14 points behind Nat Burney. Moran has 14 points with a P4 and a P5 in the last two races. So really a great start for him. But already quite a gap ahead for him. So he'll try and make up for that in this race here in Spa. P4 is Rotax. Like I say, his qualifyings are good. Like I said, his qualifyings are good this season. However, his races has gone a bit worse. But he's still in P4 with Heiser in P5. Heiser did not even drive in Silverstone. But with the P3 last week in China, he still is in P5. P6 and 7 are not here tonight. Marco Panish and Jolush, because they are both on their holiday. So yeah, great for them, but they'll lose some points tonight, which is less great, of course. So they'll see maybe a couple of drivers behind jump ahead of them, like Mohammed. He's in P8 after a very unlucky race last week in China, where he did not make the finish. Kinskman in P9. He's a reserve driver, but with an amazing race last week, where he got everyone on a medium tire in the last stint. He secured P6 with that. And critical damage as well, not here tonight. He is in P10 in the championship. So that's how things are standing at the moment, as Heiser is already making his way up into Sector 2.
Yeah, and now we are on board with Heiser, and we're going to see what Heiser can do in his Audi car. As yeah, as it's going to be a lot of hard racing today, and hopefully some drama for you guys. As we look in, Heiser is already low on battery, entering the last corner. Will this Will this be a downgrade in the last corner for him? He's the fastest man on track at the moment, but some where will someone else put their car?
IMK is the second one crossing the line, but he has invalidated his lap, so that one won't count. His teammate Johan, P1 in the championship, pole last race, so what can he do? As Jelov goes up into P2, what can Johan do? Johan goes up into provisional pole with a 43.7. Great lap for him. As in the F2, the pole time was a 43.7 as well, so we're already on that with the banker from Johan, so that's a great lap by the man in the Williams. Rotax up into P3, 44.0. As his teammates now in P4, Mohammed, 44.2. Gaps are quite big at the moment, but now falling back to P5.
Yeah, now we're on with Mohammed at the moment, but gonna be looking at CGM GK, who is currently on a lap in the Audi, and in the championship, he is currently in 21st place. So he's not doing great in the championship, but where can he put that Audi today? He's down to a 5% battery in the last corner. It looks like he's using non-battery mode there. Going into the last corner now from CGM GK, where is he going to put that Audi? We all want to know where he's going to put it. It's going to be a 144.9, puts it 12th, slowest man of all so far.
Yeah, it's a high 44 for CGM, which is not really great, but maybe he can improve on his next stint. He saw a couple of mistakes in that lap, especially in the last corner where he got really deep. So it's only P12 now for CGM, but he'll get another shot, of course. As I'm now looking with Moran. Moran just out of the Lacombe chicane, making his way up now in sector 2. Of course, P3 in the championship for Moran, so like I said, he'll need to make up some places today and maybe secure a victory to gain some points on Nat Burney and Johan, who are ahead of him. As he made his way through Puhon. For now, he's doing great. Going through the chicane here. And now Campus and Stavelo for him. Already
Yes.
up in sector 3. Sorry, go ahead.
Alright, sorry. Yeah, as he's going into the last corner now, his battery doesn't look great. He's run out of battery in the last corner, but they all seem to be running out of battery in the last corner, so probably certain deployment areas from them. Where will Meran put it? He does go fourth. It could have been better. He's definitely worth better due to the standings and that. Yeah.
Yeah, great lap by Moran, but for now P4 is it for him. As yeah, his races are normally better. I mean, in the last 2 races, his races were better than his qualifying. So maybe, yeah, P4 isn't even that bad for him. As now most of the drivers are back into the pit lane and going for the second stint. Heiser's the first one already out. He was the first one out in the first stint and is the first one out as well in the second stint. So he'll try and get that time of Johan. Johan, 1.5 tenths ahead of Heiser. Great lap again for the man in the Williams. Trying to extend his lead as Nat Burney's only in P8 now. So yeah, for Johan, this looks really good as he's trying to gain a couple of points and make sure he will be the leading car going into the next couple of races. He will be the man to beat. He wants that. But yeah, for now he is with that 43.7. Like AART says in the comments as well, Johan's banker is F2 pole. Yes, it is. Like I said as well. Yeah, quite an incredible banker there by Johan. But the lap time of Heiser wasn't that bad as well, so he'll try once more. Going out of the final corner. And now going for his lap into Lassour's hairpin. And on to a Rouge Radial now. Up the hill. And now on the Camel Straight. Sprint mode available there. So you see that rear wing going down for some extra pace there. So my Gabe is now saying he's still on his outlap. He is not. But we won't see the time, which is a bit weird. Maybe you see his time, or is it saying outlap for you
No,
as
I
well?
don't see his timing. It still says outlap, so I'm wondering if it's a glitch for all of us at the moment.
I reckon it is, yeah, because he's definitely not on his outlap. But yeah, a bit of a glitch then. But let's just stay with him and continue his lap. As now through this chicane here in sector 2. And onto Stavalo now. Onto the straights to the bus stop chicane. Long straight, and like you say, a lot of drivers are using a lot of their battery here. And yeah, the battery is basically empty going into the bus stop chicane. Here he is into the bus stop. And what will it be then for him? It says outlap, but he is surely not on his outlap. What was this lap for Heiser? He only, improved by 1,000 of a second. He had a 43.942 and he improved to a 43.941. 1,000 improvement, but of course that won't improve him in position, still in P2.
Yeah, very, very shocked by that because I thought he would have gone faster than. But yeah, Johan looks to be absolutely outstanding in quali so far, proving why he's first in the championship. And if I'm being honest, I would really love to be Johan right now, first position at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you know, in the start here in Spa, you have of course that really long straight going after Rouge the Camel Straight. And in real life F1 you see of course then a lot of overtakes there. We saw it last year, basically this year, a couple of weeks ago in Spa. As Rotax now rounding the final corner. I'll get back to what I said. It's a 43.8 P2 for Rotax. And only 52 thousandths of a second behind Johan. Great lap for Rotax, who, like I said, is always good in quali. And now just behind Johan, so great lap for him. But yeah, like I said, we saw in the real F1 this year a lot of overtakes at the start. We saw Verstappen overtaking and then being overtook again on the straight all on the first lap. So of course you would love to take pole, but yeah, at the start a lot of things can happen here because of that camel straight.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental the straight because people are just people are just gonna try and burn to get past one another, but they're gonna be stuck in an unforgettable train. So if you qualify lower, you're gonna be in a big train of people with battery. That's what I've found when I've been playing this game. You're just gonna be in a constant train with one another, and it's gonna be difficult. And I think this track will be so much more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, it sure is. Indigo, welcome, mate. Commentator of F2. His race is over, and now he's here watching with us. Welcome along, mate. As Mohamed is on his lap. Mohamed in P4, sees his teammate in P2. Ripple, always good qualifyings in that first two races. But Mohamed's not on the lap at the moment, because he's 2 seconds slower than he went with only 4.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. So we'll see almost the end of this qualifying. So stay with us.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we've got Marcos Alvarez on the lap, and it does seem like he is currently improving, but we're going to see where he can put the car in the McLaren. Oh, I think he's just stopped his lap there, because I saw him weaving a bit. I
Yeah,
think
he
he might have
is.
stopped
Yeah.
his lap there.
Yeah, I reckon he has, yeah. Going wide and pull on as well, and now invalidating his lap. So won't won't be an improvement for him. Yes,
Yeah,
the drivers are
and
now making their way into. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Yeah, no, as most people come into the pits now for their final run, I think the only person that is currently thinking about an outlap is the high 7. So yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I wonder if he'll come out in traffic. I wonder if he'll be on the lap and there'll be traffic in front of him, but I don't think there will because of how long this track is.
It would be quite unfortunate for him, but once more, he is the first one to set his lap for the third time now. As well, in his third run, he is the first one to go out. So, yeah, no nonsense, just going out on the track and drive. I like it by Heiser, but yeah. Bessel, welcome along, mate. P9. Wessel, PSF2 driver, and secured another P9, his third already this season. So, yeah, great for him. Another 2 points secured by him. So, yeah, great. As Heiser's making his way up. Almost ready for his final lap in this qualifying.
Yeah, and I think he will be in traffic because I'm seeing cars come out the pits now. I don't think he's gonna be in clear air. In all fairness, unless he slows down now, but I think he's going to be in traffic if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think you're through there, mate. You're through there because yeah, a lot of people are still. Oh, they're coming out directly in front of him. But I think for him, he is able to do another outing, burn some fuel. Maybe he put some more fuel in his car. Because
It doesn't seem
is it?
like he is indeed. I think he
No,
is
he is
burning his
pushing. Yeah,
battery.
yeah, he is. So I think he is pushing. But if it goes wrong this lap, he still has another chance. That's, I think, yeah, that's important for him. As in Sector 1, he's improving by more than a tenth. Great job by Heiser. As he's fighting for the pole as well. Don't forget that. He's only 2 tenths behind, so Johan still in the lead, but isn't there yet. Still has to fight for it.
Yeah, as he's currently on the lap at the moment. Isarium. We're going to see where he can put the car. It does look like he's up on his time, and he does pass a Mercedes there. But where is he going to be up on his Sector 2 Cup at the moment? We're going to check if he is up. I think he might be. He is up by a tenth, and by a tenth, and I think that keeps him P3. To be honest, does he pass Latte Rotex? He's coming to the last corners of Belgium currently. Well, we're going to see where he's going to put the car. And again, the battery. I feel like in this game, the battery deployment is so easy to just use all the way up. But we're going to see last corner. Where is Isarian going to put the car? Is he going to improve? He goes first. What an epic last corner by Hyserian. What a corner by the Audi.
And with that corner, he just secures provisional pole. But a lot of drivers still out on their lap. So he is in P1, but he won't be first already. He can celebrate already because everyone's still on their lap. As who will be the first one? I'm looking. I think it will be IMK. He's in P9 now, but is 1.3 tenths down on his own lap time. Now going through the bus stop chicane. For now he's in P9, but he needs to improve in that final sector. Will he be able to and get another position? No, he can't. He improved by a tenth, but still it's not an improvement on the whole lap, so P9 for him. Next to cross the line will be Bazal. 2.5 tenths down on his own lap time. That's a great second sector for him. How will the full lap be? It's a 44.1. P5 for Bazal and ahead of his teammate Nat Burney, which is important for the championship, of course.
Yeah, as now we're
Now
seeing
Johan.
Johan coming across the last corner. Where is he going to put the car? Is he going to put it first? He don't improve. What a shock.
Indeed, that's quite a shock because Johan was improving by almost a tenth in Sector 2, which would have been enough. But he made a mistake coming out of the final corner, so no pole position for Johan as Heiser still in provisional pole now. Next one to cross the line. I will looking with Moran in the Mercedes. P3 in the championship. Important for him. What can he do? He's only in P8 at the moment. Giving it absolutely everything. Coming into the best of chicane. Which position will it be for Moran? Only P8. No improvement for him. As Nat Burney is as well. Only in P6. Marcos Alvarez stays in P7. No one's improving on their final lap. Zenliti then. Zenliti up into P12 and Snow will be the last one. And Snow gets up into P11. But it is pole position for Heiser in the Audi. Last week he secured a podium in China. And now with a gap from 21 thousandths ahead of Johan, he is on pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. Johan's in P2 and Rotax in P3. Another great qualifying by Red Bull as his teammate Mohammed gets P4 with a 44.0. But that 43.7 is enough for pole position. The same pole as in the PSF2. But what a lap by Heiser. Bazal's in P5. Nat Burney, P2 in the championship. He's in P6. Then Marcos Alvarez, Moran, CGM, and Shelov. They round off the top 10. What a qualifying we've seen, Rylan.
Yeah, big shock. I expected Johan to go pole, but he didn't. But Seri flipped it. And it's a wet race. The race is indeed wet. What an absolute shock.
Look at that. It's, yeah, the rain is, oh man. It's raining really hard. I think these drivers will start in the full wet. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely full wets. I mean, in like F125, I would have put the inters on because
Yeah,
I never used to. I never used to drive in the full wets, but yeah, this game's a bit harder to do that, and these guys are going to be in full wets, I think.
I reckon they will, yes. As we'll go ready up at 29. It's now 26 past 8 British time, 26 past 9 European time, but so in 3 minutes we will ready up. So the drivers can now finalize their strategies and setups. So we'll have to wait for another 2 minutes now. It's 27 past 8, 27 past 9 at the moment. Reminder for you guys, there won't be a safety car this race. Safety car is off. Um, to be honest, I don't know why, but in all tiers, it is off in this weekend. So no safety car this race. So will be interesting to see what that gives us. So if there will be a crash, no safety car. So for a lot of drivers, there won't be an opportunity to get back in the race. So basically, you cannot make a mistake because if you spin out, yeah, it will be really hard to make up for it. So all the drivers will have to do absolutely everything they can to get the best race possible.
Yeah, and it sounds a bit weird for safety cars to be off because, yeah, I mean I love like safety cars and that because it's like, because when people because if someone like crashed into me in that and I went off the road and I couldn't recover, then a safety car would have helped me um go get back right in it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know why that is actually. So, but I know that it is off. So, yeah, like you say, for a driver who made a mistake or spun out or something or had damage, yeah, safety car is the ideal opportunity to make up for it. But yeah, you cannot. But for the drivers, it means that yeah, that there's no room for any mistake. So, yeah, the drivers will have to do absolutely everything to keep their car out of the wall. As we only have a couple of seconds remaining before the race will start. What do you think? What will happen? Will we see some shocks? What do you think?
I don't know what we'll see, but I know the wet you can't really use much battery, so turn one will be quite hard, I think. But I reckon we could see a big fight in turn one between Johan and the Audi in pole position.
Yeah, indeed, I think as well. And start is so important because overtaking in the wet is just so much more difficult because like you said, you can use less battery because overtake mode won't be available. And as well hot lap mode won't be. So drivers can only use the medium battery. Which, yeah, does not really help. As it's now 5 red lights on for the Grand Prix in Belgium. It's Heiser on pole, then Johan, and they are out. Who has the best start? Heiser has a really great start, but look at them sliding around the track still. Oh, Johan goes around the outside, trying to get P1 from the man in the Audi. Will he get that? He's trying. We see at the background a lot of cars spinning out, but still everyone's safe. Johan took the lead, but look at Heiser looking into a Rouge, but not able to get that P1 back. Johan takes the lead. However, it is Heiser looking for it. Heiser goes round the outside, still side by side, going almost at the Le Camp chicane. Heiser round the outside. Heiser gets his P1 back and defends it really well, but goes a bit deep. Johan now around the outside, has the inside for the next one. Johan gets P1 back. What a fight! Like you predicted, it's an amazing fight between these two. Heiser now on the inside, Johan on the outside. Johan almost spinning out there, and he got pushed wide by Heiser as well, but Heiser gets his P1 back. So for now, it's Heiser in the lead and Johan in P2.
Yeah, I think some people might think that was sort of a push to pass move, but Hycerion, in all fairness, was already ahead when they both collided together.
Johan still looking. Oh, Johan goes into the gravel and he loses a couple of positions with that, breaking too deep on the outside of Heiser, and he's now falling down to P6. So, and he has Marcos Alvarez down his inside. So, will he fall back to P7? Yes, he will. Johan now in P7, lost 5 positions with that mistake, but already ahead again of Marcos Alvarez, as a lot of mistakes are made at this moment. This puts Basal up into P2, which will be really great for him, but he has Rotax down. Only a 10 down on him, so he's fighting for that second place.
Yeah, and it was really tough for Johan, but I do think it's wet tyre weather out there. The guys on Inters, I mean, they're still doing all right, but Johan clearly, his car's clearly just not clicking to them Inters in a way. He's making too many mistakes, and that is not a sign of someone that does want to win this championship, in my eyes.
I understand what you're saying there. It is quite a mistake, but I do understand these drivers are driving on the Inters because, yeah, the Hards are just known for that they're not the best tire in the game. But yeah, like we see at this moment, as Johan's now falling down to P8, Robert gets ahead. Yeah, you see everyone on the Inters, but yeah, maybe the full wets would have been better, as Basal is looking down the inside of Heiser. As it's Heiser cutting the corner there. Basal now on the inside. Basal takes the lead in the Spa Grand Prix, as Heiser's now falling down to P4. Sees Rotax and his teammate CGM ahead of him. What a fight at the opening in this race, as they're fighting incredibly hard.
Yeah, massive fighting here. Both the Audis are fighting, but Basil taking P1. He does look to be really fast in the wet weather conditions here, but Johan isn't making any differences in the field here. But focusing on Basil, he's doing an amazing job out there, and I'm really happy to see him doing really well. He does seem like a wet weather driver to me.
Yeah, he does. We haven't had a wet weather race this season, so it's the first time we see wet weather in the third race of the season. Basal this season, he's in P15 in the championship. He had a DNF in Silverstone and was in P9 last week in China. So I think no one would have expected that he's in the lead at the moment, but he surely is. But still has Rotax right behind him, looking for an overtake. And I said overtaking is hard. Well, these drivers are not making it look like that, because yeah, they're making it look really easy to us. Overtaking us. I think I see somebody spinning out. It's Mohamed behind. Yep, Mohamed coming out of the final corner. He had a moment there and he's down into P14 with that. Not great for Mohamed, as last week he also had a DNF, so he needs to make sure to get some positions back.
Yeah, and we've just had Snow retire in the pit lane. Clearly must have made a mistake out there, but yeah. But yeah, some of these drivers are making some big mistakes, like Mohamed's made a big mistake there, and like Johan and that. But Yeah, we're currently seeing the fight between Rotax and Basil. It's going to be tough to close in because obviously we don't have battery, but yeah, the slipstream is still a thing in this game, so they will close in due to slipstream.
Yeah, they definitely will, the cars behind. As it's Kalux in the chat, he says Johan, yeah, he's pretty sure Johan has damage, and of course that is possible because I think I'm 100% sure he touched a lot of drivers in that fight, but it's not really, yeah, I can't really see some damage on his front wing. Looks all okay to me on the left side
Yeah,
of the
no
road,
damage is
so
showing up.
looks like no damage for Johan, but he at the moment is not able to get some positions in this race. Rotex and Bazal are now fighting.
Yeah, and now Basil down to second. Will Basil close in the last sectors of Belgium here? Following closely behind is CGM, who is in the Audi here. What's going to happen here? Is it going to be 3 wide? No, it's not. Basil round the outside of Nate Rotax here. Can't make the move. Still keeps the positions they were in.
And the fastest lap, we see cars going a lot quicker, so maybe it's drying up a bit as Johan puts in the fastest lap, so 2 minutes 3 seconds, so maybe he is able to get some positions back now, as he was the quickest on track last lap. He's right up the tail of Robert Jacobs. Robert Jacobs driving for VCarb. Last week he was in a Ferrari, he's a reserve driver in this tier, but Johan is looking to get that P7 as Marcos Alvarez as well. Up ahead is really close, but for now Johan stays in P8. Up ahead it's Rotax getting past Bazal again. These two are fighting for the whole race at this moment, as it's only lap 4, but we've seen them pass each other for a lot of times now. Rotax at this moment is in the lead, but Bazal is looking to get back that P1.
Yeah, and now we're looking at Rotax, who is currently in P1 position here. But Basil is closing in to him. But yeah, I don't see Joe Hahn making too many positions because it is hard. And I'm wondering if these guys are going to do a pit stop. I think they'll go to the end. I'm not 100% sure if they will go to the end though. But yeah, it will be interesting to see who comes out on top because we can't place a price on whoever's going to win this Grand Prix at the moment because they're all so close together and it's so hard to tell.
Yeah, it surely is. Like you say, you can't put your money on someone at this moment because, yeah, we have seen a couple of different leaders at this moment already. 4 different leaders in this race in only 4 laps. So yeah, you can't put your money on someone, as Bazal still closing in but cannot make a move. Drivers are a bit settling now. At this point at the race we see a bit less overtakes, a bit less fighting. Immediately when I say that, Rob Jacobs gets past Marcos Alvarez in the best of chicane, and now Johan will take a look as well, as it was a bad exit by Marcos Alvarez. Johan breaks deep into turn 1 and gets P7 from Marcos Alvarez. Johan's up into P7 and needs to fight back to maybe secure a podium in this race if that's possible for him.
Yeah, and currently Marcos Alvarez has apparently left the session according to the game, so that's why he lost positions there.
Yeah, that tells a lot. So he'll fall back definitely there. Now in the P8 at the moment, but Moran and IMK will pass him. As Rotex and Bazal once more are fighting. Rotex now up into P1. But Bazal is looking down the inside. Will he be able to get that P1 back? Rotex breaking deep into the corner. But Bazal has that inside line, but does not have the better exit. Rotex still on the inside. Now they're going into Poolhon almost, which is a flat corner. I don't think it is in the rain though. But Bazal is in the lead. He overtook Rotex there and is back into the lead of the race. Oh man, these fights are incredible.
Yeah, they really are incredible, but we're going to be seeing that Nate Rotax is right on the rear end of Basil. We're going to see what Nate Rotax can do in the last sector of lap 5 here. Can he gain on Basil? It does look like he's closing in. He is indeed closing in here. And we're also going to, I think Chimche in ninth is going to overtake Marcus Alvarez here. But that's because he has left the session. But now, focusing on these two, Nate Rotax to the inside of Basil, but don't quite make it stick. And yeah, going on to lap 6, and they stay the same.
Which is Bazaar in P1 and Rodex P2. Nat Burney is fighting with Robert Jacobs. Nat Burney, of course, he is now Johan behind the two leaders in the championship. Johan and Burney fighting for P6 at the moment. Nat Burney, he was a bit lucky with that gravel, with the gravel exit for Johan. Made up the position on him, but now Johan already at the back of the Haas. This is an important moment for the championship, the two leaders, but Johan is really close. Now Burney defends the inside there, going into the Lacombe chicane, but Johan breaks really deep, and is still alongside, now has the inside line. And now, oh, still Nat Burney ahead, but he really has to fight for that one. But Johan still looking for it, but here he cannot make an overtake. Nat Burney still in P6, but Johan is so close to him. And this is important for the championship, like I said, because when it stays like this, it is Nat Burney in the lead of the championship. As Rotex and Basal once more are fighting now, coming out of Pouhon. What an overtake for Rotex. Basal still on the inside, trying to get that P1 back. Rotex breaks a bit deep there. And now Rotex, yes, he is in the lead once more. Another switch there. Rotex now in P1, Basal in P2, and both Audis are just looking a bit, waiting for a mistake, because yeah, when they fight this hard, the top two will make a mistake once in this race. But CGM is really close to Basal though. Oh, the top three is so close to each other. Now going into the bus stop chicane. Will CGM try it for the first time? No, he will not. So the CGM is settled in that P3 and he's happy with that. And is just not risking anything for it. As Robert Jacobs now goes up into P4 ahead of Heiser. Round the outside in the bus stop chicane. What an overtake, but Heiser still looking down the inside. What a dive bomb by Heiser. As Heiser tries to get the P4 back, but contact with Robert Jacobs, almost hitting the wall there. Now Nat Burney is ahead of Heiser as well, because of the contact with Robert coming out of turn 1. So it is Robert now in P4, Nat Burney in P5. And Johan behind Heiser once again, as they were at the start of this race as well. Both leaders lost a lot of positions in this race. Both leaders in the qualifying.
Yes, now we're seeing Heiser go around the outside of Nat Burney. Massive there's contact between the both of them, some wheel banging going on. Heiser going around the outside again. He don't make a stick, and there's damage. Johan has officially got damage. He's got caught in it. I saw a bit of front wing flying off there. And I think it was Johan's a bit of his front wing there.
Let's take a look at that car, at the state of that car then. Because is there damage? Cannot spot any, maybe on the right there. Yeah, the left side. I think there's some damage on the left side of his car, the left side of the front wing. Here we can see that. Nah, it looks quite good to me, but I saw something flying as well, so somebody has damage, but I'm not sure if it's Johan or maybe Nat Burney, because Nat Burney is losing a lot of time now. Nat Burney is now in P5 with 1.4 behind from Robert, so maybe it's Nat Burney then who lost a bit of body work on his car, but yeah, we're not sure at the moment, as the car of Nat Burney looks alright as well to me. Or is there something missing? I'm not sure. Robert Jacobs goes up into P3. Another driver on the podium. In this race we've seen a lot fighting for the podium positions, as we're now under 2 minutes. So 1:59.6 for Robert Jacobs. He is in P3 and fighting, as he's the quickest on the track at the moment. Zenlitti's boxing in lap 8 already. It's quite early. But as we see, it's drying up a bit, but Zenlitti is changing his front wing, so he had damage there. But it is drying up a bit, so I think these drivers will need to make another pit stop, as it's definitely raining less hard than it was at the start of this race. As Bazaar and Rotex are still fighting once again. Now Rotex has a great exit there, but Bazaar is still looking down his inside. Bazal now on the inside. I think he has him. Yes, but Robert Jacobs will now take a look in the inside of Rotex. Can Robert Jacobs get P2 here then? I think he can, as he's now having the outside. Rotex on the inside. A bad exit for Robert Jacobs, and it's still Rotex in P2, but fighting now going into Puhon. Almost staying on the throttle here. Oh, Robert down around the outside, and now he's ahead, but there was contact between the two. Not completely fair, but for now it's Robert in P2, and Bazal, he is laughing because he's now almost a second ahead of Robert.
Yeah, there was some massive drama there between Robert Jacobs and Nate Rotax, but that has meant Basil has sort of pulled away a bit more, which he will be absolutely. He's going to be absolutely proud of Jacobs there, because he managed to get loads of temps away from Nate Rotax in that process. But Robbie Jacobs is going to be hunting down Basil, and yeah, we're going to be seeing when they pit, because I definitely think they will be stopping at least once this race.
Yeah, they surely will, and I really think it was Nat Burney with the damage, because yeah, Johan is already ahead, and now Heiser gets him as well. However, they are still fighting, going into turn 1. Nat Burney breaks a bit deeper than Heiser, but Heiser around the outside. Now he has him, I think. Still side by side, going into Arouge and Radion. But now it's Heiser. Ooh, Nat Burney had to back out there, and now it's Heiser ahead. IMK as well looking there, so yeah, it really shows us that Nat Burney has damage, but Nat Burney is still trying to make that position back, to get that position back around the outside of Heiser. But now it's Heiser ahead, and I think he'll stay like there, especially when Nat Burney makes these kind of mistakes. He's having some struggles on that tire.
Yeah, and now we're gonna have a look at Merani, who's currently chasing Kingsman for that P9, and we're gonna see what the Mercedes can do, because he is fairly close. He's like 3 tenths behind Kingsman. But yeah, it's gonna. If he does pass him, he will be in a bit of a train in front of him if he does pass Kingsman here. But I don't think. Yeah, Kingsman's gaining a bit out on the corners there. Don't know if Merani will do anything here. But yeah, as it's only like five tenths, that does split the top 3 anyway. But we're going to be looking at Mohammed, who does be looking on the back of Exeloff in the Alpine here, right on the rear end. Is Mohammed going to close in? He is closing in, nearly going around the inside. I don't think he's close enough, or is he? He looks to be close enough here, Mohammed. Around the outside, is Mohammed going to make the move stick? He's got in front of him, but does he get traction? Yes, he does. P11 for Mohammed. No. Excelov does get the traction. Mohammed goes back down to P12 and back up to P11, but is that going to stick? Don't look like it at the moment. Traction out of the corner, and it don't look, and they're still side by side. I don't know who's going to be ahead here. I think, yeah, the Alpine's taken P11.
However, it's still Mohammed looking. Still really close to each other, as Mohammed, we know he has some pace, but with that spin coming out of the bus of skin, he lost a couple of positions, so he's trying to fight back. And now down the inside of Shelov, it's Mohammed getting P11. Great overtake, and now he's ahead. And he has to hunt down Moran in P10 to get a point. And yeah, which would be really great for him, as he was not able to make the finish last week in Shanghai. So he needs some points, Mohammed. Up ahead then, it's now Bazal and Rotax and Robber. It's especially Robber fighting for P2. Rotax has to back down a bit to Bazal, and Robber still really up. He's still trying to make a move. A CGM as well, still in P4. Really close, top 4 still, basically within a second. So gaps are really small up ahead. But Bazal's in the lead, and he has a gap now to Rotex. Is Robert Jacobs then able to do something in the bus stop? Because I'm quite curious as well when these drivers will box. It's now lap 10 of 22. So we're almost halfway then. And we've only seen Zenlitzi in the box, but that was because of some damage to the front wing. He changed the front wing and is now in P15 as Robert Jacobs is looking down the inside. Quite a dive when we saw him blocking the tires. His front tires fully blocked, but and as well touching Rotex, but no damage for both of them. As Rob is now using his ERS, using his battery to get as close as possible to Rotex. Can he finally get that P2 then? He's hunting for it for a couple of laps now. He's really close, going down the inside, but not deep enough, braking not deep enough to make a move stick. So Rotex still in P2, Robin in P3, as we saw Zenlitzi getting the fastest lap. He is on new tires, so maybe the moment is there for these drivers to get some new tires, as they are surely quicker than these ones at this moment. As we see Robin having some troubles, maybe it is internet struggles, or it's just really his tires who are giving it up. Like this, it looks like he's turning in twice. That he has to make another turn move, steering move. Heiser and Johan then behind. It's Heiser now up ahead, going into P5. Quite unlikely to see, quite strange to see the drivers who are on top of the championship seen so far down. Johan P6, Nat Burney P7, Heiser's up ahead there, but he's only in P5. I think Rotex is the only name who is really quite up there in the championship, who is as well up in this race. So we see drivers having, some having skills in the rain, some having skills in the dry, as Rotex breaks really deep. Wow, really deep into the bus stop chicane. And Bazal switchbacked him, now back into the lead. Lap 12 has started.
Yeah, and now we're on lap 12. I'm now going to talk about it. I think the track is drying up a bit more, because it does look like the rain is getting lighter. So I'm wondering, is it going to get to dry conditions? Because I don't know if it'll get to dry conditions or not. I don't think it will, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, if it will, these drivers will be staying out for as long as possible, because of course they want to pit immediately to the slick tires. But at this moment it does not really look like it's drying up, because it's still raining. But it's definitely raining less hard than it was at the start of this race. So yeah, that also says that the tires are having some more troubles, because the less rain, the more tire damage. So I think we will see some pit stops in the next couple of laps, because these drivers just have to keep the tires alive. As Nat Burney up into P6 ahead of Johan, which is important for the championship. Nat Burney, when it stays like this, is in the lead of the championship after tonight.
Yeah, and now we're looking at Nate Rotax, who is currently only 2 tenths away from Basil. Are we going to see Nate Rotax attack here? He's closing. He is indeed closing on Basil. It's going to be interesting here. He's going to the inside. I don't know. He's not going to make a stick. Maybe around the outside. No, he's still going to the inside. Basil chooses the outside. He sort of shuts the door on Nate Rotax. Nate Rotax, can he get the traction out of the corner? Are we going to see? I don't think we're going to see a move into turn 1 here. No, too far away. And yeah, Basil still leads. But yeah, Nate Rotax hits the back of Basil. Basil 1, Nate Rotax 2.
As Heiser, I think, is the first one to make an official pit stop. Or is he changing his rain? No, he's not. So that's the first pit stop of this race. The first real pit stop, as Shelov is boxing as well. So we see 2 drivers going for it. 2 drivers making their pit stop, which tells me that it won't be drying up in this race, I think. Or maybe the tires were just dead and they had to box, but Heiser is the first one of the leading cars boxing, and he'll try and undercut that top 4. He was in P5 when he got into the box, so now he'll try to get close to the top 4 as Johan gets a 3-second penalty. Oh no. If it stays like this, it sees him fall back to P8 at the moment, as Moran is having a penalty as well. But yeah, that's not great for Johan. He could definitely not use that one as he's going to the gravel again. Such a tough race for Johan tonight in these rainy conditions. However, Rylan, it looks dry to me. What do you think?
Yeah, it does look dry. And yeah, I predicted it as well. I thought the rain is starting to stop, and I thought, yeah, it's gonna start drying out. And yeah, and you are right, the rain does look like it stopped. So I'm wondering, the best tyre to go onto wouldn't be hard, because it's probably still a bit damp out there. So I'm reckoning like medium tyres for them to box onto.
However, these drivers I think they will be struggling on the mediums, because 9 laps on mediums, it is possible, but it is long. As Robbie Jacobs now up into P2, but yeah, they're still not boxing. However, Bazal is boxing. And I think that's the right decision. Earlier we saw Zelov and Marcus Alvarez box as well, and they got onto the hard compound tires, so they already saw that the rain was stopping. Bazal is boxing, Johan is boxing, Kinsman is going. And to what tire are they going? It's Bazal going to the medium, so he's doing what you said, but Johan is going to the hards. What's Kinsman doing then? Going to the hards as well, so Bazal's the only one on the mediums. And he has to be patient on those tires, because 9 laps he has to do on that tire, which is long, because it's a long track. And yeah, the tire damage is quite big here, so Bazal in P8 on the mediums has to be super patient on these tires, but is now in P8 on the slicks.
Yeah, and now looking at it, yeah, it is dry tyres. Basil is probably going to come out in first unless he can get past Mohammed. If he don't get past Mohammed, then he could still be coming out behind Nate Rotax. He needs to get past Mohammed, but it does look like it is indeed dry tyres faster at the moment. But he's still struggling to pass Mohammed, even though dries are quicker. But yeah, he's finally got past Mohammed there. Good job from Basil, and Basil hopefully will still be in P1. I mean, that's what the Haas team would have wanted, him to try and win this race for them.
Yeah, definitely, but it looks like on these cold tires we're still right on the crossover points, because Bazal is now winning time on Mohammed, by the way, so maybe he got it just right there with that lap. I think Rotax and Robert will box this lap because they have to, because if they stay for a lap too long on these tires, it can cost them basically everything. Oh, contact, CGM and Robbe having contact. Robbe goes into the box, same for CGM, same for Rotax, but they had contact there. Not great for them, but QDR on top, esport team. Robbie Jacobs in QDR, I don't know Rotax. Rotax going to the medium, same for Robbie Jacobs. Ahmed, 10-second penalty speeding in the pit lane. We could not use that. Good for him. Heiser boxing again. Oh, whoa. Yeah, he got on to the intermediates. And he pits now once more to the medium. So, okay, basically everyone's going to mediums at this stage. And like you said, Bazal still in the lead after the pit stops. Rotax, however, still right up his tail. Top 3 all medium, CGM on the hards. I think at the end of the stint, CGM will have an advantage on this hards, because these mediums, 8 laps is long, 9 laps is really long, 8 laps is doable, but still long here in Spa. Ooh, CGM gone on to the gravel. Johan once more, 3 seconds. He's not driving a great race at the moment. Still in P6, but after those penalties he will fall back. We'll see to what position. As now the only driver still on the intermediates is Zen Litty. Yeah, but he'll lose a lot of time on those tires.
Yeah, and now Basil's leading, but Rotax behind, and Rotax is on fresher tyres, so Basil didn't get too much out of them tyres on his outlap, so I feel a bit bad for Basil here. I feel like he's done really well with this race, Basil, and I feel like he does. I mean, him and Rotax definitely deserve to win, but yeah, Basil is on a bit of older tyres, so Rotax will obviously be a tiny bit quicker, but not by much though. But yeah, as Rotax does go to the inside, and Rotax has passed Basil. But I think overtake mode might be available. I don't know though. I think it
Yeah, it
is.
is. It is.
Yeah, it is. And Basil is in second. Nate Rotax overtakes first and second.
Alright, so Rotex now in the lead, but things will be a lot different, of course, at this moment of the race, because people's pace in the rain is so different than people's pace in dry conditions. So we will see who is fast at this moment. Like Bazal has been in P9 last race, so that was his pace in the dry, but in the rain he had insane pace. Is he able to stick with this pace and stay in P1, or will someone who is better in the dry conditions still get close to these cars, as they're 4 seconds ahead of Robbie Jacobs, so they have a gap. But if Robbie Jacobs has pace on the dry, he will have a chance to chase these drivers down, as Rob is in P3. So he'll try to get close again, as the top four was so close to each other at the basically the whole race. Now they're not anymore. But still, Rotex and Bazal fighting for the win at this moment. But Robbe is chasing them.
Yeah, and now we're gonna see down here Nate Rotax is behind, but we might be seeing an overtake down here. Basil's still leading. Nate Rotax looking at the overtake here. Nate Rotax isn't getting the overtake, but now Nate Rotax is getting the overtake. P1, but I think Basil will get overtake mode. Yes, he does. Basil does get overtake mode, and Nate Rotax overtakes a tad bit late. If he held it a bit sooner, a bit later, would have had overtake mode there.
And look at Nat Burney, ladies and gentlemen. He put in a 49.0, which is more than a second faster than the whole grid at this moment. As well, Heiser 48.6. This tells us that indeed the drivers on top had the pace on the rain tires, but now Nat Burney and as well Robert Jacobs CGM are faster. Nat Burney now in P5, but chasing CGM on the hards. Nat Burney may be able to gain so much time and get in the fight, at least for the podium, but maybe more for him, as he's now down the inside of CGM. Nat Burney goes up into P4, but will he be able to chase down a podium or even more than that?
Yeah, and now CGM will be, as now Nat Burney will try and be chasing down Robbie Jacobs. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, because you've also got Johan behind, but he has penalties, so it's going to set him back. But Johan might be trying to make as many positions as he can, so he can at least hope to get points here.
I think points would be great for Johan, as it's an horrendous race actually for him. Rotex in the lead, Bazal P2 now. But Bazal is using his battery all the way down to the bus-stop chicane. Seeing the inside, but not making the move there. A little dummy there from Bazal as we're going into lap 18. The last 5 laps of this Grand Prix are here. And still, I have no idea who's the favorite to win this one. I do think, though, it will be between those two we're seeing now on your screen. Bazal now fighting with his ERS. Already so close into Arouge and Radion. Now, of course, with overtake available, sprint mode available, battery available, everything's available for Bazal, as he is looking round the outside, breaking more deep into the Lacombe chicane. But Rotax having that inside line. Now it's Bazal the inside, Rotax the inside. They all had the inside, but Rotax keeps that lead. But still, Bazal using the battery here and getting down the inside. Is he able to get P1 now? Rotex now on the inside. What a fight for basically the full lap now. As now it's Bazal ahead. And I don't think Rotex can do anything into pool. No, he cannot. So now Bazal is ahead. But wow, wow, wow. These fights are actually incredible. What a race we are seeing at this moment, man.
Yeah, the fights have been really great. I mean, it's a bit annoying that that moving into like the dry period has caused that Nat Burnley and people like Robbie Jacobs and CGM haven't been brought back into the fight for the win, because it would have been really more fun if we could have CGM and Robbie Jacobs up there still with Basil and Nate Rotax.
It definitely would have, yeah. But now it's Nat Burnley chasing down his teammate Bazal and Rotax. As Rotax now is a... Oh, Bazal got a 3-second penalty. Ooh, so... Yeah, this changes things. This changes really things as Bazal tries to get the lead back once more. But this is not great for Bazal, the 3-second penalty. So Rotax, if he doesn't make a mistake, doesn't get a penalty. The win on the line would be for him. But maybe Bazal is able to get rid of his penalty. But for now, it looks really good for Rotax. But Nat Burney already made up 7/10 on these cars this lap. So, oh, this will be so close, so exciting in the end. Nat Burney still fighting for the win. You can't rule him out already.
Yeah, you can't rule out Nat Burney, but yeah, if the front two keep fighting, Basil's going to drop down further if Nat Burney keeps catching, because these two keep fighting. It's going to bring in the cars behind back into this.
Yeah, all those cars behind Nat Burney as well, of course. So for Bazal, maybe it's for the best to just not lose time. So don't try and overtake on Rotex. Maybe that's better for him, because all the cars behind Nat Burney, so CGM, Robbe, Johan and AMK, still so close. So yeah, if he's losing a lot of time with fighting Rotex, he'll lose more and more time, and maybe all those cars will be in his 3-second gap, and he'll fall back a lot. So for now, I think it's better for him if he just won't fight with Rotex.
Yeah, as it does look like Robbie Jacobs has lost the car. Where did he lose it? I didn't see, but he's now lost lots of positions here. Wonder what happened to Robbie Jacobs there.
I reckon it was in the Blanchimont turn 17, but I'm not sure. But like you said, he lost a lot of time with that. That's so unlucky for Robbe last week as well. An unlucky race with a really unlucky ending. I think he was a DNF in that race. Yes, he was. No, he made the end, but in definitely a damn position. No points for him. So this as well is not helping him at all. As Bazal is back up in the lead though, with 2.5 laps remaining. But we don't see Nat Burney really closing in on this guy. So yeah, then Bazal says, I'll just try to get the victory on the track. And maybe he's able to get rid of that penalty he needs to secure his victory.
Yeah, it will be interesting if Basil can win, even if he goes to the Stewarts. But yeah, I did sort of look at him when he did get that pen. It did look like he chopped the corner too much. I do think he went over the white lines, but yeah, we'll see what he can do if he does go to the Stewarts in the end.
Yeah, will be exciting. Yeah, so yeah, we can take a look into next week already, because next week there won't be a race, so we see a break week, and after we'll be in Madrid. So next week no race, because everything gone really well. It's a week for other teams where maybe something has gone wrong to redo that race. But first it won't be necessary, so we won't be there. But yeah, so we all have a break next week, as a lot of drivers are enjoying their holidays, as well as today, of course. As Rotex back into the lead now, only 2 laps remaining in the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix. What an exciting end we are seeing, but who will get the victory on track? It looks like Rotex will get the win after the penalty of Bazal will apply, but maybe he's able to delete it. Maybe he's able to get rid of that. So we won't be sure. But who will get it on the track? That's the most important at this stage.
Yeah, as Basil does sit in second, Nat Burney is still around the same here, but but Robbie Jacobs, I did see him closing in to Johan and that, but he seemed to back away again. So I'm wondering what's happening there. Wondering if his tyres were finally dead and that, which he did box. He did. Oh no, it's Basil that boxed a lap early. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to Robbie Jacobs. He was closing in, but then he sort of stepped away. So I don't know what's happening to him.
I have no clue as well. I mean, of course he had that spin, but after he was, like you say, closing in on Johan. But yeah. Let's take a look at the best drivers of this race then. Most positions won by Robert Jacobs. He started in P16 in the last position because he had a quali ban. So, and made up 8 positions. So really great race for him. Same for IMK, he's in P5. We actually did not see him quite a lot in this race. But he made up 7 positions as Bazal is now in the lead again. As we're almost going to the final lap. IMK 7 places won. Bazal 4 places won. CGM 5 places won. So basically everyone who had a good quali had fall down, and the people who did not have a great quali has an amazing race. So weird to see, but the final lap is here, and for now it's Bazal in the lead, but he's still having Rotex right up his tail. They're still fighting really hard because they want to get the win on the line.
Yeah, as now Nate Rotax is going to be going round the outside. But this is also bringing Nat Burney into the territory. He's only 4 tenths away from Basil. 2 tenths now, but Nate Rotax still leading here. But Nat Burney is literally nearly under 3 seconds. So this fighting could cause Basil to go down to 3rd position and lose a place to his teammate.
I think for Haas it doesn't really care. They get the points eventually, but of course Bazal wants that P2. But now Nat Burney is only a tenth, 1.5, 2 tenths. It's so close. But oh, Nat Burney has to fight with all he has left in that car with his tires. Of course, Nat Burney has 1 lap fresher tires than Bazal. As we're going to the final corners of this race. And what a race we have seen. Bazal in that rain made a lot of positions up. Same goes for Rotax. Rotax started in P3, Bazal in P5. And both, they made up a lot of positions. They fought really hard. Basically the whole race. Bazal still looking at the inside and goes wide, really wide. But Rotax is here, coming out of the final corner. He gets the win here in Spa-Francorchamps. What a race for Rotax. He wins it here. And after the penalty from Bazal applied, it is Nat Burney in P2 because Bazal gone so wide into the final corner. He tried everything he had left in him. But Nat Burney with such a weird race, not the best pace in the rain, but he made up for it in the dry conditions. And he is, with that P2, the leader in the championship. He gets past Johan and gets the P2. Another podium. 3rd podium of the season for Nat Burney, as he's the only one to get a podium in all of the 3 races we've seen. Bazal still in P3. IMK in the last lap P4. CGM P5. Moran's in P6. Championship leader Johan's in P7, as he's not the championship leader anymore. He has to give that place to Nat Burney in the Haas. Robbie Jacobs gets P8 after a spin on the dry conditions. Unfortunate for him, but still P8. Same goes for Heiser, who was P2 or P1? I'm not sure. He was... yeah, P1. He started on pole, Heiser. So only P9 for him. That's such unfortunate for the man in the Audi, but still 2 points. And he needs... yeah, maybe those 2 points will be really important at the end of the championship. But I reckon he would have hoped for a lot more then. But it is only P9 for Heiser. As I'm going to take a look at the podium. with Rotax on top of it. 3 different race winners in the first 3 races we've seen, so as well 3 different teams, so it's really exciting in the championship. Rotax is now as well gaining a lot of points, so maybe he will be fighting for the championship as well in the next couple of races. As we're going to take a look at the rest of the grid. Kinskman gets the final point, so that's 2 points finishes in a row for him. Zelov in P11, Zenlitzi P12, Chris P13, it will be Mohammed in P14, Marcus Alvarez in P15, and Snow is our only DNF, so only 1 DNF tonight, which is great to see. Well, what a race we've seen, Rylan.
Yeah, it was a really tough race. Still a bit shocked about Johan here, who did qualify P2, but too many mistakes did lead to him finishing down the order. And giving that place to Nat Burney is yeah. I mean, Nat Burney, I didn't really see him the entire race. I don't think we talked about it once, to be fair. And all of a sudden he comes back and gets a P2.
Yeah, that's quite an incredible result for the man in the Haas. And like you said, he wasn't on the screen for, yeah, for the most of this race. Sometimes he was fighting with Johan, but yeah, we mostly focused, of course, on the drivers who were on top. But at the end, Nat Burney almost came out on top and is in P2. So, Rylan, who do you think is your driver of the day tonight, and why?
My driver of the day. It's going to be a tough one. Driver of the day. I feel like I would have said Jacobs. He did come through the field quite well, but he did make a mistake. So I think Nat Burney. I think Nat Burney sounds about right. He done quite well, but Rotax. I don't really know who would be my driver of the day. It would either be Rotax, who done really well, or someone like Nat Burney.
Yeah, like you say, a lot of drivers who had a really great race, so I understand it's tough to choose. For me, it's actually the same, really tough to choose, but I think I have to go for Bazal because I think no one expected him to be so good in that rain conditions. Unfortunate for him that he gets a 3-second penalty, but still a podium for him, so a double podium for Haas, so which is really great for them. So I think I'll have to go with Bazal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for tonight. But before I go, I'll take a look with you to the calendar. As like I said, next week we won't be there because we have a break week. And like I said, all the tiers that had some struggles in the last couple of races will are going to be redoing those races in the break week. So there will be action in PSGL, but not from us, unfortunately. And the next week will be Madrid, the 4th race of the season. Unfortunately, I won't be there because I'm on my holiday then. Same goes for round 5 in Austria, but that's it for the next 3 weeks. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. But first we take a rest next week in the break week. Well, Ryland mates, before we go as well, I need to thank you for your amazing commentary. Thanks for being here and thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good mate. And yeah, maybe you have something to say to the people watching at home, and maybe you can yeah, round it all off then if you want.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the race. It was really interesting, especially the wet weather. But yeah, I hope you guys can enjoy some Belgian waffles because we finished Belgium, so yeah.
Yeah, it would be great if they can, of course. But yeah, that was it for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. A really great race, one of the best I've ever seen, to be honest, because what a fight we've seen, especially in that rain. So yeah, hopefully we see more of that in the upcoming races. Yeah, for the next upcoming 2 races, I won't be there, like I said, but you will be in the safe hands of one of my fellow commentators. So don't worry about that. Harry will be back from his holiday somewhere, I think in Austria. So yeah, you'll see him as well. For now, I wish you guys a really great evening, and I hope to see you in Imola on the 31st of August. For now, a great evening and